Hello, this is Jeffrey, and I'm popping in here to tell you about the wonderful fiction podcast, The Amelia Project. Have you ever daydreamed about disappearing and starting over? What if there was a company that provided that service? That's the premise of the comedy fiction podcast, The Amelia Project. It's a show about a secret death-faking agency. In each episode, you hear a new client being interviewed, and the dilemmas that bring them to the death-faking agency are in turn funny, thought-provoking, or downright surreal. I think if I was going to fake my own death, I'd probably go with something like Lost in the Mountains, hiking or mountaineering or something like that, just disappearing into thin air. Anyway, the show is unique and tackles philosophical questions and impossible dilemmas with a lightness of touch, always making you laugh. Since it's a series with an overarching plot, we recommend you start with episode 1, and you'll soon be hooked on this weird, funny, mysterious, and exciting show. You can find The Amelia Project wherever you listen to podcasts. Please go check it out.
Hello, listeners of The Harbingers. My name is Gabriel Urbina. I am the creator of the show and the writer of the show and kind of the architectural design of all the misery and pain and awfulness that this show is inflicting upon your souls, which is why I am so thrilled to today be talking about a different show that will also be inflicting pain and misery and terror, but also great, great entertainment onto your soul. And that show is 2000 and Late, and I am so lucky because today I get to not just talk about it, but talk about it with the person that created the show. Special guest voice on the feed, Lauren Shippen. Lauren, how are you doing?
Hello, I am good. I am, as always, basking in the misery that you provide in your wonderful stories.
Yes,
I love it.
yes.
Give me more misery. And I'm so happy to be
right
here.
Up. Oh, don't you worry. The misery is coming. The season 1 finale of The Harbingers will not disappoint in that regard. But that's not what we're talking about today.
I can always count on you for that.
Today we're talking about your show. And before that, just, Lauren, can you just say a little bit about who you are? Who are you in the world of audio fiction and podcasting?
Absolutely. I have been doing audio fiction almost as long as you, though not quite. I started with a show called The Bright Sessions back in the day, which is about people with supernatural abilities in therapy, and since then have worked on all kinds of shows. And 2000 and Late is my most recent original through my podcast studio, Atypical Artists.
Incredible. In just a few minutes, we're going to be playing the first episode of 2000 and Late right here on this feed, on this drop that you're listening to. But before we get to that, just what is kind of the sales pitch for the show? What is the kind of 10,000-foot overview if you were describing the show to your friends at a bar? What would you say?
Yes. I like to pitch it as Venom meets Fleabag about a woman who gets possessed by a demon in her mid-30s and decides to unionize her workplace. That is sort of the elevator pitch. And I
really love that because it has like 9 swerves in just like that pitch. Like there's already so much going on.
Like Venom, okay, you kind of get the deal. It's demonic possession, and then Fleabag. But crucially, I think that something that Fleabag does exceptionally well is create a sympathetic and complex female lead who is nonetheless not necessarily particularly likable when you first meet her.
Yes.
And I think that is something that I want more of because a woman should be allowed to be a dirtbag and not be cute about it. That's really my thesis.
So talk to me a little bit about where did this show come from? You've created so much and you've created in so many varied fields within audio fiction. And this is both kind of in conversation, it feels, with a lot of things that you've done before, but also kind of a bit of a bolt from the blue and very different than anything else. So where did it come from?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a story that I have had in the back of my mind, like very, very vaguely since 2020. I was just thinking about, like the stories that I loved as a teenager, like a lot of these fantasy novels that I would read where, the 16-year-old girl gets dropped into the fantasy world and she's the chosen one and she's going to, make everything happen. And I had the thought of, well, what if the classic thought of like, what if that, but it sucks and it's a demon instead. But then with the additional quirk of like, the demon is late. The demon is 20 years late. It was supposed to come up and possess this person when they were 16, and now she's 36, and it is not as easy to mold and steer a 36-year-old woman as an agent of darkness as it would be to do to a 16-year-old.
Sure.
Yeah, so like that's really where it started, and that's actually where the name like 2000 and late came from. For those perhaps younger listeners who might be listening, that is a lyric from a Black Eyed Peas song from like 2007, I think, perhaps, maybe 2008, and it was like really just like initially like a sort of one of those project titles that you throw on that you're not going to use, and then it kind of stuck around and became the actual title of the thing.
Oh, yes. One of those, certainly we're going to like come up with a different version of this later. And then in time, you sort of realize all the dimensions that the temporary title actually has.
Right. And like the little like wink and nod to kind of like the, fellow millennials of like, you guys know this lyric, you remember the song, you remember what the mid 2000s were like, and you know what now is like. And it really was just that for many years. It was just sort of like the characters didn't even have names. It was just sort of like 36-year-old woman gets possessed by a demon, and the demon was supposed to bring about the apocalypse 20 years ago and arrives to find that like humanity has already gotten a good start without it. And then it just kind of, languished in my ideas folder for a while. And then, this thing happened at the end of 2024. I don't know if you were paying attention, but it sort of felt like,
no,
oh, wow, okay.
I was taking a really terrific nap underneath this boulder that I have.
Oh, great.
What could you possibly be referring to?
So yeah, after the 2024 election,
after the event,
did not go, I think, the way that any of us hoped. It really started to feel like, oh, okay, the apocalypse is sort of well underway here, and there was just so many things that I was angry about and frustrated about, and I think also like one of the things that really started to kick this story up in my mind, at least in like flavor and feeling, if not plot point, was the reversion of Roe as well. And just sort of like feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna go crazy. I am a woman in my 30s and I have fewer rights now than I did when I was born. Like that's I'm going to lose it. And so, I had met this producer who wanted to get into fiction podcasting, and I tossed the idea to him, and he really loved it. And then as I was, developing it, it really became this story about labor organizing and about healthcare and about all of the, these other things that we are encountering in our day-to-day lives these days. And I mean, to your point of it being very different, it is the only show I've ever made that is really directly engaging with our world exactly as it is. Of course, there's extra demons, but beyond that, like the president is who he is in our real world. The situation is what it is in our real world. COVID happened, all of those things that normally I don't necessarily directly engage in. And that's been incredibly cathartic, actually. I was a little bit scared of it, but it's been very cathartic.
I particularly like the phrasing of it's our world, but with extra demons, implying, I think, correctly, that our world has some demons, and your version of it just has some additional fictional demons that have been thrown inside.
Yeah, I didn't even really think about that as I was saying it, but that's exactly what it is.
No, I think that's correct, and you should stand by it.
Yes, I do.
So talk to me a little bit about, this is really a show that is carried by the duo at the center of it, which is a fascinating duo in a lot of ways, not least of which is the fact that you play both of these characters, besides writing and creating the show. Who is Harper? Tell us a little bit about this this mid-30s, dirtbag protagonist.
Yeah, so Harper is basically a failed artist. She had started as a very optimistic, aspiring writer, kind of trying to find her medium in New York City, and, fell in love with this girl that she knew in high school who now was also living in the city. And they had this, kind of classic, 20-somethings in the city life that we get a tiny little glimpse of in a flashback in episode 5. But when we meet Harper, she's living back in her hometown in upstate New York in her dead uncle's house, working a minimum wage job at the grocery store and just like completely burnt out at a dead end, embracing nihilism. Her girlfriend is kind of her one connection to like the actual like world of having human emotions. And so when this demon arrives, it's a little bit like, sure, this might as well happen. Like once she gets over the initial shock of it being real, it's more of an annoyance than anything else. And we discover that sort of one of the things that Harper's been grappling with is that her uncle, who she was very close to, got sick during COVID. She came up to care for him. He passed away, and she has been struggling with long COVID, sort of as a result of contracting the illness before getting vaccinated and all of that kind of stuff, sort of in the midst of the worst of the pandemic. And so it's also, a story a little bit about like invisible disability and how getting an illness can change the trajectory of your life even when you sort of appear to be recovered. And so there's lots going on with her, and she's not handling any of it well.
But once again, it's a real testament to how smartly the show kind of dramatizes the reality that we've all been living with, because that feeling of once the shock wears off, this thing that is an unimaginable horror kind of just becomes an annoyance. I feel is something that we've all lived with for, like the last 10 years, the last 15 years? There's so many things that are just, oh no, like when I stop and think about it, this sort of thing that in my mind is just background terribleness. No, it should not be background terribleness. It should be something that makes us lose our minds with anger and fear and horror. And instead, because we've had to deal with so much of that stuff, we've gotten so good at, we're just going to kind of turn down the emotional volume to this more manageable rumble. And the fact that she's able to do that with a literal demon sharing her body, and that, slight spoilers for the series, but like so often what actually becomes the points of plot and the points of action are more the day-to-day logistics of navigating the body sharing rather than any kind of bigger, I need to get an exorcism for the existential thing that I'm going through, sort of a concern.
Yeah, I mean, it really does just become another thing to learn to live around, exactly as you said. It becomes this background noise. And I think for Harper, especially given, everything else that she's going through, we learn later that Havoc, the demon, has an effect on kind of some of the symptoms that she's been experiencing with her long COVID. And just sort of like the idea that you're when dealing with things like chronic pain, your body just truly does become sort of this like vessel annoyance that you have to maintain, and isn't necessarily something that you have like a relationship with. And I think that, for me, that's very much just like a very direct metaphor. Like I got very sick in my 20s and had to deal with chronic pain for a long time and still do, but thankfully to a much, much lesser degree. Didn't even have to get demonically possessed to get better, which is great.
You're missing out, honestly. Me and my demon, we've done great things together.
There are things that Havoc does that I would like to be able to do. But also, I bring up Ro too, because like, that's not really like a plot point at all within, the show, but I think is sort of a looming thing in my mind as I was making it, just sort of like, your body not belonging to you and sort of being this like tool of like
100%
some other power that you don't have a say in, and just sort of the like depersonalization that results as part of that.
Outside forces have decided that you have to share your physical existence with this other presence.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's just it. Like that's a horror movie premise that we've all somehow managed to like reduce to a annoying background rumble.
Totally.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about Havoc. What's the other side of the equation?
Yeah, so Havoc is the Hell's version of Harper. Like they, have been up to Earth before. The last time they were around was, sort of mid-century, 30s, 40s, which is why they talk the way that they do, which is in a transatlantic old movie style accent, which was a very deliberate choice, mainly because I cannot do accents to save my life. And
Sure.
if there's one thing I've learned sort of in working with voice actors and in voice work and whatnot, is that if you attempt to do an accent that any human being actually has, even if it's an excellent portrayal, people will still be annoying about it. And so I decided to pick an accent that nobody has ever naturally had because the transatlantic accent is one that was taught to movie stars and to people in private schools in America. And so nobody naturally acquired it, really. And so nobody can correct me when it sounds wrong. But it also ended up just being very fun. And of course, the 30s, 40s, the last time things were maybe not going great in humanity on a global scale. It felt like the end of the world. And so that's the last time Havoc was up, and they've kind of been hanging around, and I don't want to spoil too much about where the show goes, but things in hell kind of have their own power dynamics and their own frustrations. And so when they arrive, like, they are kind of bigging themselves up in a way that maybe is not totally accurate to their role in hell. And they are also kind of in the process of figuring out, what does an apocalypse look like, and what does humanity look like right now, and what are the ways in which, like, sin and morality and all of these things are manifesting these days, and what are Havoc's like personal opinions on those things, like what are the sins that it wants to encourage, and what are the sins that it actually thinks are like a bit too far,
which is so much of the fun of the show. It is sort of that, like, very, to me, pleasing, almost logistical take on something like evil. When evil is your job, what are the evils that you find efficient? What are the evils where you're kind of going, that's too much squeeze for not enough juice? Like, that kind of evil takes too much time. And then also, what are the things where you're going like, whoa, hang on a second, I'm a demon, but even I have my limits. Thank you very much. And kind of exploring, I think that is one of the things that is so smart about this show, that it is not just Harper meeting Havoc. It is very much also Havoc meeting Harper and meeting the modern world and meeting all of these things. And it is a learning process for the two of them and kind of an evolution for the two of them in so many ways.
Absolutely. And I think, also Havoc showing up so many decades later, and the world has become so confusing, but also so full of new possibilities. And one of Havoc's little quirks is that they just like want to try every like novelty beverage. Like, that's kind of like their demonic bucket list, is like, ooh, what's that weird flavor? Let me try it. And them possessing somebody who like truly has become incapable of enjoying life's pleasures in a significant way. And so, how does that work too? It's like, it's no picnic for Havoc either, being in Harper's body. And so, like, how do you work around that? How do you work together?
They both have to kind of overcome the other presence in order to sort of really achieve anything. And oftentimes overcoming each other really kind of means having to come to understand one another.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
How do you record the show, Lauren? By which I mean, how do you have all of these conversations? I have to stress, once again, with yourself. You are playing this central dynamic. And if you are just listening to it, it just feels like this breathless, instinctive conversation. And then you remember sort of like, wait a minute, no, like, this is not actually, we didn't find a way to put a microphone inside your brain to listen to these two voices in your mind. You are really doing this. How do you record it?
Well, part of the magic absolutely is our amazing shared sound designer, of course, Jeffrey, who just did an absolutely incredible job with kind of creating the Havoc space and making them sound like they were talking through an old timey radio. So the recording process was interesting because I'd write the scripts exactly as you hear them, where you're getting the whole conversation, and Havoc's lines are presented exactly as, a regular character, and it's only when they're using their sort of like outside voice that there's any kind of special marking. Those are all in all caps bold whenever they're kind of speaking outside of Harper's body, which only happens a couple of times in the course of the show. And then for recording with, all of the other characters, all of my other actors, we did it the usual way. It was all remote, but we, hopped on Zoom together and recorded it all live with each other. And I removed all of Havoc's lines so that none of the actors had any of the context of those lines. I didn't have those lines. So I was just reading Harper's lines, and sometimes she's like talking to somebody who's like not there. And so like literally creating that like actual confusion for the actors of like, what the hell is this character saying to me? And then, of course, then their characters responding and be like, what are you talking about? And then for putting Havoc into those scenes, or a lot of this show is just Harper and Havoc, right? Like it is just the two of them. I would go through and record all of Harper's lines, and then I would just, record those as is. I would kind of then edit them, pick my takes, edit them. I edited all the dialogue for the show, put them, in the session, and then record directly into the session Havoc's lines. And so I would kind of space them out and then press play and literally like act against a recording of myself, which I'd never done before and which was actually like pretty fun.
Incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lauren, I could talk to you forever about this show, but honestly, I think that would be depriving my listeners of getting to hear 2000 and late. Is there any, before we just kind of like turn it over to you and also to everyone else in the show, is there any last things that you want to say about it? Anything that you think listeners should know? Anything that they should look forward to? Anything that they should be paying attention to? Any kind of last introductory remarks before we just hit play on the pilot episode?
Yeah, I do want to say that despite all of the things that it's grappling with, it is, I hope, a fun show. And it is something that, it does not have answers for you about how to make a better world, but it is inviting you to ask questions and to interrogate the different ways that we can make a better world. And it is not something that's going to like leave you in despair, despite the serious subject matter and perhaps the messy questions that it's asking. So don't worry, it's not full of hopelessness. It will hopefully be a cathartic listen for everybody.
No, I'll piggyback onto that. Having listened to the entire first season, the way that I think most of you are about to, if you have not discovered this show yet, if you are someone of me and Lauren's generation, I think that we all have a lot of shared trauma from being 13 and kind of going, any day now, my mutant powers are going to activate, and I'm going to get my invitation to go to like Xavier's school for gifted youngsters, or my magic powers, or all of these things. And the future is going to be this like amazing place where we're all the chosen one, and we're all going to do incredible things. And now we're living where we're living. There is so much catharsis in the genuine rage that this show has, and I so admire it for. It's like a howl against the dark, but you only feel that howl if there is real, genuine hope, real, genuine humanity, real, genuine kindness, and especially real, genuine humor to counterpoint it, to sort of be the thing that is in relief to that anger, and to be the thing that is there to go, this is what we're trying to preserve with this anger. This is what we're fighting for. And the show feels so clear and so righteous precisely because you do both halves of that so well. And you will feel all of it and a million more things right now, because we're going to start to play that first episode. So folks, this is Gabriel and Lauren signing off and leaving you with the first episode of 2000 and late. Please enjoy.
This show contains all kinds of bad things. It's set in our modern day, which means it involves discussion of inept government, unfair business practices, labor abuse, small-mindedness, substance abuse, grief and loss, COVID, chronic illness, sexual harassment, and death. There's also quite a bit of swearing, drinking, smoking, violence, arson, and all manner of demonic behavior. This episode in particular involves a car crash, so perhaps best not to listen while operating a motor vehicle. Enjoy, but enjoy responsibly.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. In a lot of ways, it's a classic story. Hero's journey kind of shit. You're living your life, minding your own business, when suddenly the universe throws something at you. Something unexpected, something big. Something that someone who's actually qualified to do stuff should probably be addressing, but Suddenly it's your problem. It doesn't matter if you refuse or if you feel like you're the wrong person because, well, you're it. Nothing you can do. One moment you're an upstanding, responsible citizen and...
You can't possibly be describing yourself.
Are you kidding me right now?
Upstanding. I mean, really, Harper.
Oh my God, can you please just shut up?
I'm sorry, who are you talking to?
What?
Were you telling me to shut up?
You really have all the grace of a sentient steak, don't you?
What? No. Wait, you couldn't hear that?
Hear what? You suddenly stopped talking and then you were yelling at me.
So now you use your inside voice.
Excuse me?
Look, let me just go back to the beginning here.
Beginning of what?
The beginning of the end of the world.
Oh my God, you're dramatic. You're listening to 2000 and Late. This is how to procrastinate the end of the world.
My 36th birthday was 3 weeks ago, and that's really where things started, which is funny because you don't think of anything as starting when you're 36, am I right?
I don't know, I'm 25.
Of course you
Ouch.
are. Okay, then you're probably still really celebrating your birthdays. Me, not so much. At least, not like I used to. No more shots or crazy late nights or ill-advised hookups. Birthdays post-30 are a little more dignified. Come on.
He can't make the grab. Newton around second. It's the wave home. The throw comes into short. Throw cut off at the plate. Not time.
God damn it!
Matt Carter brings the duel home. Laketown Pipers aren't going to be happy about that.
Jesus fucking Christ, this is pitiful, even for the fucking Pipers. Hey, gorgeous.
Happy birthday!
Thanks, Gemma.
Did you get the flowers?
I did! You really didn't have to do that.
And you really didn't have to make me a hype-up playlist on your birthday.
Oh, come on. If I can't be there to enter every room before you and say, here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Gemma Reyes, the smartest, most beautiful.
Oh my God, shut up.
You can't make me.
I wish I was there to smack a hand over your mouth.
Ooh, kinky.
Seriously, I'm really sorry, Harps.
No apologizing. Remember, you don't get to choose when you prostrate yourself in front of the money altar.
Still, I would so much rather be upstate with you than in the city having to wear black tie in 90-degree weather.
Oof. How's it going? Suckered any billionaires yet?
We're getting there. But seriously, it's so hot. I'm dying here. I need a weekend away. Bad.
Well, you know I'm not going anywhere. The house and its AC are here whenever you want. In theory.
Still haven't gotten the unit fixed, huh?
It's working fine. It's working. It'll be fixed by the time you're here, I swear.
I'm sorry I can't come this month.
Seriously, babe, it's okay.
But I promise, next time I'm up, I'm going to introduce you to that editor I know in Cold Spring.
Gemma.
It doesn't hurt to talk to them.
And next time you're up, we are finally starting Battlestar Galactica. The fact that Starbuck wasn't your queer awakening is shocking to me.
Are you having a good birthday, at least?
Oh yeah, it's great. You know, just finishing up my lobster dinner and reading Proust.
By which you mean drinking PBR while watching minor league baseball in your underwear?
I'm wearing pants.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, Harper. I've got to go. The speeches are starting soon.
Go. Send the hype up playlist to the sound system and let the bass blast some money out of those old dudes.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Sure. Go kick some gala ass, take some yacht money from those fat cats.
Will do. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. So there I am, enjoying a lovely, quiet night alone, missing my stunning, perfect girlfriend, and I'm just about to turn in at a very respectable time.
2:12 in the morning.
When suddenly, this thing happens. What the fuck? The specifics aren't really important.
Wow, 5 minutes to recount a conversation with Gemma about her job that, by definition, results in no profit, but you're going to gloss over my glorious arrival. Shut up.
But, long story short...
Not once in your whole life have you shortened a story of any length.
Something happened that, sort of altered my perception of the world and, also my entire being.
Okay.
You don't want to know what it is?
My God, you humans are so incredibly uncurious about everything.
I really just wanted to know,
A demon, from hell, came up and possessed me. Not exorcist possessed. I'm not going to start projectile vomiting or anything, don't worry. More like I just sort of share my body with them as they attempt to perform, nefarious deeds here on Earth, blah, 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 blah. But this is totally against my will. I didn't summon them or anything. I'm an atheist.
Hell knows why.
This is just a small wrinkle to that. Honestly, they actually explained it a lot better.
Finally, some appreciation.
Once I, stop screaming. What the fuck is happening? Oh, what the fuck? Where the fuck? How the fuck do you know my middle name?
You were chosen by the great and terrible powers of hell to become an agent of the end of days.
The what?
As you enter adulthood, I will mold you into a powerful human.
Enter adulthood? What is happening?
Yes, today is her 16th birthday.
What? No, it
You
isn't.
will become... What? Yes, it is.
It's my birthday, but I haven't been 16 for 20 years.
You are lying.
I am really not. I just turned 36. So, as it turns out, this is like a thing for hell. They send these passengers to humans when the humans are still impressionable and corruptible, and then the demons manipulate things so that those people gain enough power to do real damage, which honestly explains a lot about the world.
Don't put it all on us. You've made plenty of progress on your own.
But, well, I guess they match personalities when they do these pairings, because my guy was late. 20 years late.
I have explained time and time again. Time works differently in hell, and
Not that I'm using that as an excuse for my tardiness today. It's a character flaw. I know that. I'd say I'm working on it, but in the interest of full disclosure, I have bigger fish to fry.
Because you have a demon possessing you.
A demon blessing you with its presence. Not to appropriate angel culture, of course.
Look, I know how it sounds. And I was totally not on board at first either. I figured I just had too much to drink, or I'd slipped in the shower and was in some weird coma dream, but then I woke up the next morning and Havoc was still there.
Havoc?
Oh yeah, that's the thing's name. Fitting, right? Turns out truth in advertising is their one redeeming quality. This isn't happening. Everything's totally fine and normal.
You can tell yourself that until you're blue in the face, but it won't change the conditions on the ground.
Harper, are you doing okay, kid? Saints alive, someone's jumpy.
Carol, hey. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
I cannot believe this is who I'm stuck with.
Hungover?
Yeah, I wish.
The only reason you're not is because of me. The least you could do is say thank you.
That chance.
What?
See? You can't really ignore me.
Sure I can.
Even if you did manage to refrain from responding to me, you can't actually shut me up.
Harper!
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, now I'm thinking you finally took Jared up on his shady mushrooms.
Oh, shit, is he still growing those? Could he have put them in something? Did we have any snacks in the break room yesterday?
Wow, I was kidding. Oh my gosh, seriously, are you okay?
It's going to sound crazy. You know it's going to sound crazy. I'm hearing it in your head, the way this conversation will play out, and it'll end with you going to church with Carol for the next 3 months.
How did you get all that but not know what a cell phone was?
It's not an exact science.
Who are you talking to? Did you get some of those fancy ear pod thingies?
Shit, Carol, I'm sorry. I'm just...
Crazy.
I did not get enough sleep last night. And the fluorescent lights in here are like... Ugh.
Ugh, I know. I can see my pores. I think Rory finally replaced some of the busted bulbs. It's too goddamn bright. People are going to be able to see that all the fruit is bruised to shit.
Yeah, well, not like they have anywhere else to shop.
Ain't that the truth? All right, kid, why don't you go get yourself a cup of coffee? I'll finish stocking.
No, you don't have to do that.
Come on. You did all my work for 3 weeks after I threw out my back. I owe ya.
You mean it? Oh, you're the best, Carol.
And don't you forget it, little lady.
You know, working at a grocery is not exactly what I had in mind when I came up here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is my life not exciting enough for the spawn of hell?
I just don't see how we're going to be elected mayor of New York City at this rate.
What?
That's the plan. Do keep up.
No, that's not the plan. That's not any plan. I'm lucky to have this job, let alone... Why am I even talking to you?
Because you are absolutely wretched at keeping your word. This is what makes humans so easy to manipulate. You have no conviction.
I'll show you conviction. Yeah, I'll pour this entire pot of coffee on my head. That'll snap me out of it.
You see my point? You couldn't even finish the jigsaw puzzle Gemma left at your home 6 months ago.
What? How How do you know that?
Get with the program. I'm in your head. It's a goddamn mess, so information is coming fast and random. If I'm honest, I do like a little chaos, but egads.
So you can just read all my thoughts, is that it?
No, weren't you paying attention when we went over this last night?
You mean when you showed me all those visions of death and destruction and then moved all the furniture in my house with your mind?
With your mind. Well, our mind, really.
No, we're not doing that.
I told you my presence here imbues you with the powers that have been bestowed upon me by the fires of hell.
This is it. This is the one. I've really finally fully lost my fucking mind.
This isn't ideal for me either. You were supposed to still be clay, not all dried out.
Oh, fuck you.
Now focus up. We need to get out of here and get to work.
I am at work. Work I need to do to, eat, so I'm gonna go back to ignoring you now. I actually got through that first shift pretty okay. I mean, I think I was still in the, denial phase. Because Havoc doesn't shut up. Ever. They're just constantly talking. A running commentary on everything I say and do.
If you did or said anything right, I wouldn't have to comment.
See?
No.
Right. Sorry. It's suddenly decided to be shy. Despite the fact that it has no problem talking to other people when it wants to, or using their crazy powers of telekinesis or whatever to completely fuck up my life.
I think maybe we should.
And I know I'm supposed to be telling you about me and my experience, but the thing about Havoc is, well, I understand the need for a personal responsibility. I do, but some things are not my fault.
You're eating that disgusting packaged noodle abomination again. You're going to get scurvy, which you really cannot afford to do, given you don't have health insurance. A tip of the cap to the inventor of that glorious system, by the way.
What, healthcare? That wasn't one of your bunch?
Too intricate. Digging into the finer details of bureaucracy is not a strength of ours.
What is?
Getting the ball rolling. The big ideas, autocracy, fiat currency, war, just all the fun stuff, as you well know.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean that we have the same idea of fun. You would love nothing more than to burn this house down to the studs, quit your job, and stop giving a hoot about anything. Other than that irritating girlfriend of yours, you've basically got the last one done and dusted already.
It was wrong, of course. I had no plans to leave that job, and I don't want to destroy anything. And yet... What did you do?
Got the ball rolling.
And as if having my living room incinerated wasn't bad enough... What the fuck?
He cut us off.
I am so sorry.
Well, I'm not. Throw it in reverse so you can hit him again.
And the crazy thing is, it doesn't even seem all that pressed about its job. It showed up 20 years late and so far has just talked a big game about the apocalypse while not doing anything more than fucking up my life at every turn.
I am simply getting a lay of the land before I...
And so you can imagine the kind of stress I've been under. I was mostly able to keep things in control at work, but the only thing it does seem to want are novelty drinks.
Oh, that one. Harper, come on. The pina colada flavor just...
Fuck! Jesus, don't do that.
You're ignoring me.
What gave it away? Was it my not talking to you?
You agreed to stop ignoring me.
And you agreed to shut up while I'm at work.
But we haven't tried the pina colada flavor yet.
That doesn't mean you can commandeer my body to try and grab the bottle out of the fridge.
So get it for me.
I'm not buying it for you.
Don't pay for it.
Of all the things to jack from work, I'm not stealing pina colada liquid sugar. Now, be quiet.
But I want it.
And I want $1 million in a new car, but you don't see me complaining.
You complain constantly. I'm in your head. I hear it.
Only because a demon refuses to leave my body. Fuck!
Landry, what's going on?
Ugh, this idiot.
Just broke a bottle.
Is someone drinking on the job again?
Of course not.
Only little sips.
That's coming out of your paycheck.
You should have just taken it.
Wait, Rory, that's not fair.
Life isn't fair.
I fumbled one bottle. Corporate accounts for way more loss than that in any given day.
And retail theft is up, so we're already in the red.
That's not true.
You think you know better than the news and several renowned podcasters?
Yeah, because I have a basic understanding of statistics and how fear-mongering works.
Propaganda. I love that stuff.
Are you sassing me?
Sassing.
You know, your attitude lately has really left a lot to be desired.
Sorry.
And now you're destroying merchandise.
I dropped one bottle.
And I know you've had your own personal problems the last few years.
Personal problems.
But that's no excuse. You should be able to handle putting a bottle into a fridge without breaking it.
See all the bottles not broken in the fridge? I can handle it. But shit happens.
Okay, stuff happens is not going to get you far in life, Landry. You know, you could really stand to take a page out of Jared's book.
Jared is your cousin and sells you weed. Of course you like Jared, but he's 19 and a fucking idiot.
I think we should kill Jared.
I don't like your tone.
I think we should kill them.
Good tone isn't required for stocking groceries.
But it is required to work for me.
I don't work for you. I work for a mega corporation trying to pass itself off as a neighborhood grocer.
Mega corporation.
You know, Harper, you're really pushing it.
And you're really being a grade A dick.
Yes, that's right. Tell them what for.
How dare you speak to me that way?
You're riding my ass for no reason.
I have every reason. You've been late and unpleasant for weeks. Actually, you've always been late.
I'm working on the late thing, but I'm so sorry for not having the perfect sunshine demeanor when the world is ending.
Cheers me right up.
The world is...
You know, I didn't buy it at first that this stupid fucking demon was a part of some grand plan to bring about the destruction of humanity, but I swear to God, everyone and their mother has been acting like the biggest douchebag for years.
My mother? She is a God-fearing woman, I'll have you know.
Not even in an interesting way. Havoc could tell me that you're possessed, that shitty middle managers are all part of Satan's grand apocalypse plan, and I'd believe it.
You are clearly inebriated.
And I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of pretending like what I do is high stakes, or that I need to smile, or that I need to stand all day so the customers don't think I'm lazy, because I don't. I don't need to do any of that. I stock shelves and I check people out and then I go home, and it's a service that needs to be provided and what I'm happy to do, but it doesn't fucking matter if we're a family or if I take pride in my work, because anyone with the tiniest bit of power, including you, a local grocery store manager, lets it turn them into the most insufferable person on the planet.
That's it. I'm writing you up.
All right, that's it. Let's kill them.
Oh no, not a write-up. How will I possibly go on? Don't you get it, Rory? It doesn't fucking matter. You don't fucking matter.
You need to calm down, Missy.
Why? Why should I calm down? My house is torched, the backseat of my car is full of broken glass because the demon inside of me has no impulse control, and I can't afford to fix any of that. But I drop one bottle so I get $3 taken out of my $40 paycheck? How is that reasonable?
All right, that's it. You need to clock out for the day. You're being hysterical.
I'm not hysterical.
Okay, so maybe I was being a little hysterical. But are we not allowed a bad day here and then? I think I had good reason, and look, I'm not going to try and claim it was a proud moment.
Well, I'm proud of it.
But I do take responsibility. Does that answer your question?
I just asked you the reason for your termination from your previous job.
Right. Good. So there you go. A little accidental destruction of company property, courtesy of unintended demonic possession, not anything to do with my work ethic. And a grocery store has a lot of different moving parts, so I think working in food service would be an even better fit.
Oh, you think that, do you?
No.
Absolutely. I really think I'd be a great addition to this Wendy's.
Ma'am, this is a Denny's.
Huh. So it is. Wendy's is this afternoon. But maybe I won't need to go to that interview after all?
Do you really think you're getting this job?
No, I do not. God damn it!
It's like I've been saying, all these interviews are a waste.
Yeah, well, unless one of your powers is printing money, I need a job.
I told you.
We're not robbing a bank. That's not happening.
It'd be more effective than telling every interviewer that you're possessed.
Well, when I tried the other way, when I tried just being a fucking normal human being, you got bored and set my resume on fire.
An improvement to it, let's be
And
honest.
I just didn't need another interview to turn into a potential misdemeanor. But if I talk about you, you behave, mostly. Narcissism, it turns out, is your weakness.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Don't. Better to be a little quirky than burn down a building, right?
I think you passed a little quirky several exits ago.
And whose fault is that? Oh, right, the same person whose fault it is that I have nowhere to live.
Not a person. And when are you going to get over that? I was keeping the fire contained. You still have a house.
That I can't live in until it's cleared by the fire chief.
Well, I had to do something.
Why?
Because you were never going to do anything yourself. You would have continued on with your miserable, unremarkable existence if it weren't for me.
Oh, and I'm thriving now, jobless, sleeping on Carol's couch?
You're awake.
Fuck you.
Yes, good. Get angry.
I'm angry at you.
No, you're angry at the whole world, Harper, so let yourself be.
What good is that going to do? Getting angry won't pay my bills.
But it'll feel good, won't it? And when's the last time you did anything that actually felt good?
I'm a grown-up. I can't just do whatever feels good.
Why not? Everybody else does.
Yeah, and look where it got us.
So what? Just because other people sully the world means you can't do what you want?
That's exactly what that means.
No, you're just scared. Scared of all that anger inside of you, that sweet, hot rage.
You're a demon. That's your influence.
No, it's why you were chosen.
What?
It's not random, Harper. What, do you think hell is sending their best and brightest into whatever humans pop up just hoping for a win?
well, I don't think hell is sending their best and brightest, period, so...
You've always had that rage inside you. It burns so brightly, even viewing it from below. A kind of burn we don't often see in humans of your advanced age.
Fuck you.
And that anger, that fire is what makes a great leader. You would have made a great leader.
Mayor of New York, right?
Oh, you would have accumulated so much power by now.
Again, your fault, by your own admission.
No, don't blame me. I would have helped, but you could have done it on your own. That's the whole point. We're just here to nudge.
You've already nudged me into unemployment and houselessness. Robbing a bank would nudge me right into prison.
No prison could hold us.
Seriously, just leave me alone for a bit and let me wallow in another failure.
Harper?
I'll buy you whatever you want at Wendy's, even if I don't get the job, which, let's be honest, I won't.
Harper, incoming.
What? Oh, shit.
Hey, sweetheart. Do you know where to get some grub around here? Come on, I'm just passing through.
There's a Denny's back a few blocks.
Yeah? What are you doing right now? Want to grab a bite?
Hit him.
No thanks.
You live around here?
I'm just walking down the street, man. The Denny's is the other way.
I could hit him.
Need someone to walk you home? Yikes! Careful with that stare, sweetheart. You could hurt somebody.
Oh, let me set him ablaze.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get where I'm going, okay?
Don't apologize to him.
And I'm just trying to be friendly.
I don't need any new friends.
Oh, I see how it is. What, is this not a safe space for me? Do I need to protect my pecker?
You need to protect your legs.
Havoc, no!
Now, dickhead.
Oh my god!
My leg!
Havoc, what the fuck?
What the hell was that? How did you...
Tell anyone who will step on your own feet.
Jesus Christ!
Let's get out of here.
Havoc, we can't just leave him like that.
Sure we can.
God, can you at least give me my body back? I could walk.
Promise you won't go back.
Promise. Thank you. Now what the fuck was that?
Oh, come now. You're telling me you haven't dreamed about doing exactly that to every Tom, Dick, and Dicker that's ever catcalled you.
Sure, but it would only ever lead to something worse.
Not now. Now I am the something worse.
I might not be worried about that guy following me home now, but I'm not looking to catch a felony charge.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. You don't have to worry about that. That man's legs will never be the same, and there will be no consequence, because no one will ever believe him.
No, come on, he could...
What? Admit he got beat up by a girl? Tell the police you've got enough strength to break a man's thigh bone? He's never going to talk.
And I bet he'll think twice before pulling that kind of shit again.
Oh, he absolutely will.
Fuck. That man will never harass another woman because we made him pay.
And doesn't that feel good? Come on. I can feel you smiling. Just say it.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels good.
And darling, we're just getting started. "2000 and Late" is a production of A.J. McLeod and executive produced by Patrick Ellis and Lauren Shippen. The show was created, written, and directed by Lauren Shippen, with the brilliant Octavia Bray as our script consultant. Our spectacular sound design is by the fabulous Jeffrey Nils Gardner. Our dazzling original art was created by the first-rate Ellis Carson-Jones. And our rollicking theme music is by the ever-wonderful Brandon Grugel. We have many incredible actors lending their voices, so I'll let them speak for themselves, in order of appearance. Margaret Burris as Maddie.
Elena Victoria Feliz as Gemma.
Vicky Kelleher as Carol.
Candace McAfee as Rory.
Tyler Moody as Sid.
Oh, and of course, Lauren Shippen plays both Harper and Havoc. She really is so self-obsessed. For more information about the show, please visit harperandhavoc.com. Our advertising is arranged by Multitude, so please get in touch with them if you'd like to participate in the glory that is capitalism. All right, that's all for now. Until next time, go out and wreak some havoc.
The Fable and Folly Network, where fiction producers flourish.